My line of work is being a facilitator in a lot of different areas. I mean, it's changed throughout, whether it was working in music or counseling or leadership training. The one common thread in my career has been facilitating. My best attribute is trustworthiness. And I like that it's my best attribute because I find myself in situations where people just tell me things that maybe they couldn't tell other people, or things that they know I'll hold in confidence. And it's a really fulfilling thing to be able to listen and know that I might be the only person that they've told this to. And then to have something positive and encouraging to say back. And oftentimes I don't even know where that comes from. It just happens, and then I walk away feeling like my day was really worth it. I wish people would stop asking me what I do, because I do so many things, it's really hard for me to put it in one little capsule. So even job description-wise, usually I'm the catch-all, or I am creating the job description. So it's a really hard thing to find one word or phrase that covers it all. I'm completely over and done with second-guessing myself. Now, I say that while I'm second-guessing myself, but I'm going to keep saying it until it's really true. I am a discerning person, and I feel things very deeply, but I always feel like I have to explain myself because it's not always understood where I'm coming from. In hindsight, I see it takes time for the person or the situation to be like, aha, okay, that was on target. But that usually happens after I've spent time agonizing over explaining myself. So, done. Oh, the worst thing about being female. For me, I think it's having to define myself, put myself in a box. In different situations or different, I am expected to be a different person in different situations. And I find myself kind of scouting the situation and going, okay, which part of myself do I put first, do I not? And I don't really see that in my guy friends as much. They just go in and it is what it is. But I feel like I really have to edit myself according to the situation. I'm good at it usually, but it's exhausting. The best thing about being female, there's so many good things. For me, I want to say intuition, just that sense of knowing, whether it's with people or I don't want to call it an emotional side, but it's like a knowing side, a deeper side that you kind of see through a situation past what the surface is. And it gives you a lot of insight, it protects you a lot of times, it can give you like a leg up a lot of times, but I think it also, for me, gives me this level of compassion for people in a situation, because it's like, I can see that's what's really happening here. And then you have to be quick kind of to adjust. Have I ever stolen anything? I did once, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. Hope my kids are not listening to this. I think I had to be like in second grade, and I was, what's the statute of limitations here? Okay. I was like at a Pier 1 Imports, and I saw those little like animal things, and you push the bottom and they flop down, and you let go and they pop back up. And I don't even know what compelled me. I think it was like a llama. I was like, I have to have that. I have to have that. And it was actually for a gift. So I took it, I stole it, but I brought it back the next day and stuck it back on the shelf because I couldn't sleep. So anyway, that was it. Who has had the biggest impact on my life? I don't even know if I can answer that. Because I love that I'm a learner, and every situation I'm in, I try and grab the pros and the cons. So I don't know that I can say I have one person that's had the biggest impact on my life. I wish I had an answer. I just really don't have one person. The biggest lesson life has taught me, I think, is to trust myself. I second guess myself all the time, and I restructure and remold myself for different situations, like adaptation is a survival mode kind of thing. And so life is still teaching me that there's a way to combine all those things in all situations and not just have to pick and choose. So I don't have to subdue myself. I don't have to water myself down. So, and I remember growing up, I just now remember growing up being told that I was too much, like, tone it down. I was always hearing, tone it down, tone it down. You don't always have to win. You don't always have to get an A. You don't always have to, and that was weird to me because that was natural. I wasn't competing with so I think that stuck in the back of my head. Just like, tone it down. Don't be all you can be. My biggest challenge in life in general, I think it has to go with that tone it down message that I'm always hearing in the back of my head. Don't stand out, don't be too much, don't be better than. And so it has me always thinking about somebody else and how what I say or do is going to impact the situation or somebody else, instead of just being me and saying me. So I think it is that kind of tone it down thing that's always in the back of my head. I want to say, what word best describes me? It might sound weird or corny, but I want to say prism, because depending on the situation or the time in life, I don't think I look the same. I know I don't feel the same. I know my attitudes aren't the same. And I often feel like I'm supposed to be like in this mold, but I am not. And so if I were to describe myself, that's how I see myself. It depends on where you're standing. It depends on what angle you're looking at me, what the definition would be. What word best describes my world, my view, what word best describes my view of the world at this time? I don't know if there's one word. I would say nothing new, because I'm not shocked by anything I see. It just is kind of in a different form of what it's always been. We don't really know what's up, what's down. We'll kind of find out later what the real deal is. Things are shocking. Some things are the same, some things are not. So I look at all the craziness and I'm not really surprised, because I feel like there's always been that element. It just manifests in a different package. When I hear the word Enfuego, what comes to mind? On fire. Now, I looked all the definitions up to see what they were, but when I hear it, Enfuego, it sounds like on fire. So I think of a lot of things. It could be radical, it could be controversial, it could be just pure truth. Like, how like fire purifies and just melts away all the outside. So I just think of like pure truth, like realness. There's a lot of, my ideal perfect mate, I'm sure there's a lot of things that would be like the right thing to say, but I need somebody funny. Like, funny is like core. And then with that, somebody sincere, trustworthy are the top things. But somebody that has a sense of humor that's number one. Especially, life is crazy, and just if you can laugh at things, that's it. Is it hard for me to ask for help? Probably the hardest thing. And so I don't ask for help. It's so hard that I don't even know what to ask. So I just do it. I'll just do it. If I was on a desert island, who would I want to be there with me? I would say, you have to go with the first thing that pops in your head. It would be my daughter Mia. Endless laughs, her perspective, her resourcefulness. I think that of most people in the world, I would never get tired of it being the two of us. So, if I ever met myself at a party, would I hang out with myself? I'm not sure that I would, because it would be too much of me. So I don't know that I would want another me in my airspace. Oh wow, tell you about my first kiss. Do we have to name names here? It was in second grade, and a young man that lived around the corner brought me some flowers and kissed me on the cheek, if that counts. My thoughts about the Me Too movement. Very difficult. That's a very difficult one for me. Wow. I didn't get involved in that at all. I listened. I couldn't say a thing. I've had so many crazy experiences that line up with what everyone else was saying online and speaking publicly that I really couldn't go there because it was like too deep, and I just wanted it all to stay covered up and quiet, because that would mean I have to look at some things and face some things, and people even in my life today that I've had to kind of I don't know, just erase whatever's in my mind to go forward. So the Me Too movement was very difficult, and I had this feeling, as most women did before Me Too movement, that there'd be backlash afterwards, that it's going to be a thing, everyone's going to be compassionate, that it's going to be a movement, and then afterwards they're going to have to deal with the fallout of what they said or what they exposed. So that was a really hard one for me, and I mostly sat back and watched. And there was a lot of processing and commonality in what I saw and what I heard, but it was a really hard one for me.